Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Let's start today's session. So, we will be starting with session 4 now. So, I hope you guys have learned basics of Lightning and Lightning development in previous sessions. So, as always, let's start with the recap of last session. So, what we have learned in session 3, we have created a standalone Lightning application. We have used Lightning component attributes to make your component more dynamic. We have learned about bound and unbound expression to access your Lightning component attributes, and we have checked upon the conditional markup to hide some parts of your component based on some condition, and we have checked on aura iteration as well to loop through your arrays and objects, and we have learned about handling the user events as well. So we did create a event, on click event, and then we handle it via your controller and helper both files. So that's all about session 3. So what we are going to learn today, so this is the agenda for today. So so we will be learning like how to get your attribute value in a controller file and how to set your attribute value via a controller file or helper file. We'll be seeing how to get your component by using oracle and id. So oracle and id is used to uniquely identify your component in your component markup. So we'll be using how to get that particular component with aura id. Then we'll be learning about system events. So system events are those events which are fired by the Lightning framework itself. So it includes your init event and your render event. So we'll be learning about both the events. Then we'll be checking about debugging your Lightning component as well. So like how to debug your Lightning component, and then in the end we will be seeing like how to write SQL query overview, how to write your SQL queries. So this is not related to your component, but yeah, it's necessary that you know about SQL to complete our Rentegar application in further sessions. So we'll be discussing a overview of SQL queries, and then you have to dig further by yourself on SQLs. So, and this will include our lab exercises as well as always. So like we'll be having 5 lab exercise today, uh, uh, pretty much including every topic. So let's move further. So first thing first, so like how to get and set attribute value in your controller file. So how, as I said here yesterday, attributes are used to make your component dynamic. So how does they make your component dynamic? So like if you don't use attribute, you will only have static text on your component, so that does not give much value to the UI, right? So it's like a normal static value that's never going to change. If you want to change it, you have to change your code. But including attribute in your component gives you an advantage to pass the values to those attribute, and display those or re-render your component based on those attribute values. So this is how you can make your component more dynamic. So we will be seeing like how to set the value from your controller file and how to get an attribute value in a control file. So to get an attribute value, again what we are going to do, we will be using component reference. So that is component, then dot get. So get is the method to get attribute value, and then again we have our value provider here, v. So v represents view or value provider. So v dot your attribute name. So this is how you'll get the attribute value in your control file. Similarly, if you want to set a value to your attribute, so we, instead of get method, we have a set method again with the reference of component. So it will be like component dot set. Again you need to specify to which attribute you are setting the value. So it will be like your v dot attribute name comma the value that you want to set. So it's pretty much very simple, and I think this is our lab exercise as well. So let's open your laptop and open your developer console as well, and let's try this. Everybody is able to hear me, right? Okay. So this is our car search form component that we have built till now. So just to check the output again, so this is what we have built till now. So you must be getting a output like this if you have followed my code. So one pick list field, or what we can say select field, along with a search button, and we did have another button here, but using aura colon if we have the button is hidden now using oracle, and if so we have included a condition to hide this button here, and that's why it's not visible and we are seeing this text here. So what we are going to do, so instead of giving this particular is new available attribute value by default, what we want to uh, set it value inside a controller file. So and we will be checking if this particular new button is available there or not, and then we will be setting the value using controller. So if is new available is true, then it should display on the UI, and if it's not, if it's false, then you should be seeing this text again. So let first of all, let's remove this default here. Who is on unmute? Yeah. So first of all, what we are going to do, we will remove the default from here. So let's or let it be. No issue with the default. What we are going to do, we are going to access its value in your controller file. So how we can do that? So let's say let's create one more field here, one more button here to check, to reset the value of this particular is new available button, or is new available attribute. So let's create one more button here. This we will be creating temporarily just to show this, show the demo of how to set a value in a attribute. So let it be like this, make it like toggle button, and on click of this button, let's, this is again included inside your aura, if so it won't be visible, so let's include it here. On click equals to, let's create a function toggle button. So this function should be present in your controller file to make it work. So go to your controller file and type in the function name. You can copy the rest from your previous function. So what we are going to do, in this toggle button, we are going to set the value of is new available from false to true. So default is false, we will make it true. So first, what we are going to check, so if it is false, we are going to make it true, but if it is true, we are going to make it false. So first of all, we want to get the value of this particular attribute. So how we can get it? So create a variable in JavaScript, so you can use it, you can use where keyword here to declare a variable, and you can give like current value equals to, again now you need to use your component reference here, so component dot get, then you need to specify the attribute name here using your value provider. So your value provider or view would be view v dot your attribute name, so your attribute name is new available, and then save it. What is it saying? Okay. Now, so what error did we get? So it, let me show you the error again. So what it is saying, if I can zoom it out. So what it is saying, so like it is expecting a comma between line number 5 and line number 6, because as I told you, Lightning framework uses uh, uh, JSON kind of architecture even in their JS file as well. So if you are declaring two method here, you need to specify, you need to give a comma in between. So you need to provide a comma after every function that you are going to define in your controller file or helper file. After giving the comma, if you save it again, it should be able to save it. So now the file is saved, and your current value should return your current value should be false, as your default value is false. So let's handle the condition here. If current value, okay, that means if this statement is true, like if current value is true, then what we are going to do, we are going to set this is new available to false. So how we can do this? Simply go here, copy paste it, and instead of get method, let's use set method here. Again, you need to, what you need to give, you need to give your attribute name, comma, what value do you want to set here. So what we want to do, if your current value is true, then we want to make it false, else we want to make it as true. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to create a toggle button to hide or show your new button on the UI. So let's try it out. Hopefully it should work. So instead of going in your app builder and then seeing the component on the contact record page, let's use our rent a car application for preview. So we are seeing a toggle button here. So what it is doing, so like I'm clicking on the toggle button. So since default it was false, let me reload it again. Since the default value of this attribute, this is new available attribute is false, we are not seeing that new button here. But once we click on the toggle button, what it's going to do, it will fetch the value of this attribute. Then it will see like if the value is false, then what it will do, it will come in else part and it will make it true. And when we'll click it again it will come in this function. It will see like if the current value is true, then it will make it false again. So that's what your toggle button will do here. So that's what we are seeing. So if you click it or click on this, you should be able to hide or display your button here like this. So this is what we have done for temporarily, but yeah, this is how you can get or set your attribute value. Let's see, any questions so far? None. Okay. Okay, so let's move on with finding your component by ID. So what is ID? So to specify a unique ID to your component, you can use aura colon id attribute. So what it will do, it will you can uniquely identify your component from your inside your markup. So let's say we do have our aura iteration tag, or and we do have our or lightning colon select tag as well. So what we are going to do, we are going to specify id to your lightning colon select, and then we can access the value properties or value attribute for your lightning colon select. And then we can see, we will see like which particular option is select. So what I'm trying to say is, so we will create a aura id for this lightning colon select, and then we will display as soon as we click on luxury car, it should give an alert like luxury car is selected. As soon as we click on van, then it should give an alert like van is selected. So this is what we are going to do. So for that, we first need to identify this lightning select from your component markup. So your component markup includes so many tags. How you are going to identify your lightning select? So what you can do, you can give an aura id to this one, and you can give it like any name. I have given it car type, so let's not give it car type. Let's give it uh, car type list. So so you can give an oracle and id to your lightning select here, and then we will use this oracle and id in your controller file to get the attribute of this lightning colon select. So by attribute I mean you can even get the name, label, variant, value, anything which is specified in your lightning colon select tag using your aura colon id. So any attribute that is defined in this tag, you can get those in your controller file. Uh, it take one parameter, that is aura colon id for the component. You can also use it to set the value of your component which is using aura colon id. So this is how you can use it. So component dot find, this is the method that you are going to use, and then you can specify the id. So for in our case it's car type list, and then you can set a new value there. So let's say if you want to change the value from van to luxury car, you can change it programmatically as well. So this is the use of aura colon id. I think now we have our exercise for this. Yeah. What we are going to do, so like I have already given the aura id to this lightning colon select component. So this will identify this particular component. If I use this car type list name in my controller file, so how can I do that? And also, let's do one thing. We are already aware about the events now, like on click and everything. So let's create an event for your lightning colon select as well. So what we are going to do, we are going to specify an event on change of selection here. So as soon as you change your selection here, a event should get fired and your controller should handle that event, and it should display the new value which is being selected. So for that, what we need to do, we need to specify an event here. So what you can do, you can give on change equals to, then you can give your controller method name here. Uh, let's say I have given the method name as new value selected. So this method should get called whenever you change the selection in your lightning colon select. Let me declare or define this method in your control file as well. First of all, you need to make sure you are giving a comma in between. Then again, you can give the method name. Rest of all, you can copy from your previous function and just empty it now. So again, we do have our new value selected function here. So what this function will do, it will get the current selected option from your uh, lightning colon select component. So how we can do it, we can use component dot find. So this is what I've written already. So what you can do, you can use your component reference, then you need to use a method called find, and then you need to specify id for you need to give a parameter that is the id for the component or id. So our id is car type list, so you need to give here the car type list. So this is statement till here, the component dot find and car type list will give you this lightning select component. Now what you want to do, you want to get an attribute from this. So what attribute you want to get? You can get name, you can get label, you can get variant and value. So what we are interested in is the selected value, so which will be specified by this value parameter. So that's what we are trying to get here. Dot get v dot value, this is how you will get the attribute value here. So what we need to make sure that if you are uh, giving the name inside find function, you are not using v here, because you are giving a aura colon id here. But if you are trying to access the attribute, then again you need to give v dot value here, v dot value or v dot whatever the attribute name is. So v dot maybe name, v dot label, v dot variant, anything that you want to access. So now this car type id or uh, should give us the current selected element or current selected option. And then what we will do, we'll simply create a alert function as we did yesterday. in our helper method. So, and in that alert function, what we are going to do, we are going to show a pop-up and with the new option being selected. Option selected. If anybody don't know what I've done here, please ask the question. This is a normal concatenation of strings. So your card type ID will hold the value of latest selected option, and then I'm concatenating this string with option selected. So what it will give you, like if you selected sports cars, then it will show you a pop-up with sports car option selected. So that's what it should do. So let's try it out. Go to your rent a car application again, update the preview. Let's see if it is working. Yeah. So what it's going to do, so now since you have changed your option to luxury car, now it is showing luxury car option selected. If you change it to van, it should show you van option selected. If you change it to something else, let's say back to sports car, it is giving you its sports car option selected. So this is how you can access the value of your uh, aura uh, uh, of your component using aura colon id. So any question so far in oracle and id, or in getting and setting the component uh, attribute values? Everything is clear with everyone? I'm getting there at this space, and you might just. Shivani, do you want to explain your issue? I do see something. You have written something on the Hangout. Okay, so let's move on with system events.
Yeah, Manish, sorry, I was on mute.
Uh-huh.
I am getting this error in the first lab exercise.
Mhm.
Can you help?
Uh, so first lab exercise. Can you please go and mute yourself again? So by first lab exercise, you mean getting and setting attribute values?
Yes.
So you are using something called curve value in your component, which is not defined. So you need to check if you have defined this value in your component as well as in your controller file. So maybe some spelling mistake or some, since lightning is case sensitive, so you need to check that as well. So check this curve value in your code if you have defined it or not, and you should be able to, use it. If you are not able to resolve it, can you just post your code on the forum, and then I'll take a look into it, and then I'll give you the complete answer, because I need to check your code to have a, give you a proper answer for this one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think the V was not capital, so maybe the case sensitive. Let me check. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on with handling system events. So what are system events? We have checked our user events. So till now we have checked on click and on change. So these are the events which are being fired when a user performs some action on your web page. So let's say if a user is clicking on some element, then on click event can get fired. If a user is changing some value, then on change event can fired. And similarly, we have many other events like on mouse move, on hover, and there are many different system user browser events that you can check on JavaScript sections on W3 School or many other websites. But what is system events? Are system events are which is being fired by your Lightning framework itself. So this is something that you cannot control. They will always get fired. But one thing that you can do, you can decide if you want to handle those or if you don't want to handle those. So system event is something that will be fired every time if you load a component. So there are two kind of system events. Oh, where is it? Yeah. So there are two type of system events. First is init, and the second one is render. So your init event gets fired when your component markup has initiated, but the markup before your markup. is rendered on the screen. So it's like everything has been loaded, but your component has not been rendered yet. So let's say if you included some external JavaScript or CSS file, and along with that, you have a very long markup. So everything has been loaded into memory, but it's not rendered yet. So that's when your init event gets fired. That means initialization. And your render event gets fired after it's rendered completely. So like your component markup is visible on the browser. After that, your render event get fired. So how you can handle init event? By your init event handler, init event name is init. You can give the value as this, and then you can specify the action that you want to call. So action will be the method or action name in your controller file. So this is how you can handle init event. Similarly, you can handle the render event as well. Just what you need to do, you need to change your handler name from init to render. That's it. So this is how you can handle both of these events, and we will be handling init in our next exercise as well. So in your developer console, what we are going to do now, so let's do one thing. So in our, so these options are coming from our uh, car types attribute, right? And we have set those as a sports car, luxury car, and when, and we have given it default value. That's how they are getting generated here. So what we can do, instead of giving those values here as default, we can create a init event, and then we can fetch those value from your database, or we can say from your apex controller, and then we can display these options, whichever options are present in your backend. So let's say you may have a object called car type, and you want to display all those car types which are available here. So what you can do, you can create a init event, you can handle the init event, and then you can fetch all the car types from the backend, and you can generate your select list here. So that's what we are going to do now. So just remove this default value from here. And one more thing that I want to change, let's give it as blank value, because we want to display all types as default there, as default selected value. So as soon as you remove your default values from your car types list, it should not show you anything now instead of all types. So it's blank now. So now what we are going to do, we are going to create a handler for your init event. This is how you can create a handler using aura colon handler uh, uh, component. And then you need to give the name of the event. So in our case it is init event, so just give it init. Then you need to give a value to this one. So to handle the system events, you need to give the default value as this. You cannot change this one, you should always use this one. I'm not sure if you can change it, but what I know, like, you should always use this one. You may want to check if this can be changed. So this is if you pass the value as this makes your handler as a value event. That's it. And then you want to give an action as well here. So the action will define which JavaScript method you want to call on the init when the init event gets fired. So here, let's create a method do init, and then we need to create the method here as well. So what we are going to do, give a comma here, write do init, and then again you can copy the code from previous function. And here what we want to do, we want to fetch the list from our database. So to fetch the list from database, we need to use apex controller. So that is a so so we will be covering apex controller tomorrow, but for now what we can do, we will be fetching the fetching card types from backend using apex controller. So that's what we will be doing in this one. But for now, let's assume that we do have those the list with us, which we have fetched from the backend, and now we want to use that list and set the car type attribute using that list. So again, what we need to do, we need to use your component reference. So component dot set, which attribute do we want to set? We want to set car types value. So use v dot car types comma. Now here you need to give the values that you will be fetching from the backend. So let's say we have fetched the value as, again again same values, sports car, then your luxury cars, and again let's say van. And we want to since this attribute is a string array, we want to make sure that we are giving a array here. So this is how you can give it, and then save this one. Let's see if it's working or not. So this is a do init event. So once your component is initialized, your system will fire this do init method, and it what it will do, it will set the car types attribute value as sports car, luxury car, and van. So let's test this if it is coming or not. Okay, so it is coming, but it is considering this. It's not considering this as array, and taking this as a complete taking this as a as one string. So what you need to do, you need to remove these inverted commas from here. So this is how you can declare an array in JavaScript, and then you save it again. So now it should give you all these three value again. So reload it. Okay, now we are getting a sports car, luxury car, van, and our by default selected value is all types. Why? Because we have given the value here as blank. So value is only blank for all types. So that's why your all type is selected here by default. So this is how you can handle your uh, system events. If you want to say an example of render event as well, so what you can do, you can uh, handle the render event as well. So instead of init, you just need to do one thing. You need to name it as render. Again, like you can change the name of your JavaScript function. So let's say handle render. In your JavaScript file, define this function. We won't be writing much code on the render. We're just seeing the example here, and then I'll be reviewing the code as well, because this is just for demonstration purpose. I'm just making sure if are not for the spelling part. So what we can do, we can again show a alert here, render is complete, something like that. So just copy the alert function here, and then we can show component is rendered. And let's gets fired or not. Yep. So it is showing component is rendered once your UI is completely rendered. So you won't be able to see the UI in the backend because your alert is blocking to generate that UI. But yeah, it's only getting fired once your page is rendered, once your complete markup is rendered. So as soon as you click on OK, you will see the complete UI in the backend. And also, if you want to see which event gets fired first, like whether init gets fired first or render gets fired first, we can check that one as well. So in our init also, let's give one more alert there, and we will say component is initialized, and save it. Then we will see which alert pops up first, and then save it again. Yeah, so we do see like your init event is getting fired first, and if you click on OK, then you should see the second alert box as well, that your component is rendered. So this is how you can handle your system events. So we don't need this handle render now. So just remove it. Also remove this extra checkbox from here, extra alert box from here. Remove this one as well. Yep. Any questions so far?
Hey Manish, this is Anil. The system events are the two events, right? The init and handler. Sorry,
Init and
render.
render. Yeah.
Render. So the name should be init and render, and functions also should be same as do init and handler render, or that can be anything.
No, that can be anything. So you can give it
Oh,
any name. Any name.
yeah, only name has to be init or
Yes.
render if you
Yes.
want to
Your
use.
name must be init and render. Yes. Apart from that, you should always specify your value as this. So that makes it as your value event. I'm not sure if you can change this one to something else, but you may want to uh, check this one by from your side. And your action name can be anything. So it can be like whatever the name you will be giving here. You just need to make sure that function exists in your controller file. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anil. Uh, any other question? Okay. So let's move on with debugging and troubleshooting part. So I'm not sure how many of you have checked this on the blog. So like I have already written an article about this because this is again a big concept in itself to debug your or troubleshoot your lightning component code problem. But we will be seeing few things today in the session as well. So debugging your component can be challenging because your page is again using single page application design, and you will be having multiple components on the same page itself, so you are not sure which particular event or which particular component is throwing the error. So you need to find and so to find that particular component or particular line will be very challenging sometimes. Sometimes your lightning framework gives you an exact error with the line number, but it's but many of the times it does not give you the line number or the component name. So that's when you need to find out by yourself, like from where the error is coming from. Also and there are many ways to check this, but we'll be covering few of the things. If you want to, if you are interested in the complete debugging and troubleshooting part, you can go to this post on the sfdcfacts.com. So I have covered many things here, like how to clear your browsing cache, and how to use your inspect menu, and there are two more plugins there to debug your lightning component. So we won't be covering all those in today's session, but yeah, we will see an overview. But this blog post pretty much has everything, so you can go ahead and check this out to to get more detail on this one. But for today, uh, okay, so it directly says lab exercise. Okay, so let's see what we can debug in our component. So first of all, uh, if you are familiar with uh, any other programming language, so let's say Java. So if you are writing a code in Eclipse, so you can debug your Java code line by line, right? By just simply putting debug point there, and your program will halt in that debug point, and then you can go line by line by seeing each and every uh, variable value there, and based on that you can find like where your code is not behaving properly. So similar thing you can do here as well. So what you can do, we don't have much code in our controller file, but still what you can do, so like let's say, hmm, let's say you want to before setting value in car types attribute, you want to get the values of this one. So what you can do, how you can get the values, again I already explained here using get method, where car types equals to then, where is that, get, yes, here it is. and here you want to get the values of car types. Save it. So your car type variable should hold the existing value of car types, and we will be checking that back again. And what we'll do, let's do one thing. Let's put so first of all, debugging a lightning component or troubleshooting a lightning component includes clearing the client side cache, because as I've been saying this many times, like your lightning component stores the cache on the client side as well, on the server side as well. So on the client side you can control the cache mechanism, you can clear the cache. So for that you need to enable the debug mode in your uh, debug mode for your lightning components by going in setup menu and writing component here, lightning component, and then you should enable this checkbox here, enable debug mode, and then you should be able to see these two buttons. So one is displaying the seconds and the second one is displaying the cache memory, I guess. So if you click on this green button, it will clear the cache. It will actually show you the actual size, out of which like 320 kb out of 10 MB is being used. Once you click on OK, it will clear the cache, and if you refresh the page, it will go to the server and find the new markup definition from there, and then only it will render the component again. So this is the first thing that you need to do if you want to troubleshoot or debug your lightning component, because you want to make sure your lightning component is showing the latest code from the server. And apart from that, there is a plugin as well for clearing the cache, which is called clear cache. You can install this in your Chrome browser. It gives you a single button on your Chrome menu, and you can simply press it to clear the cache. That's it. That will also help you to clear the cache. The third thing is to clear the cache. What you can do, uh, on your web browser, click right click, click on inspect, and then you should be on your network tab. You should be able to see a button called disable cache. So you can select this one as well. As per the documentation, official documentation, this does not work sometimes. So along with this, you also want to keep your options open for the debug mode and this plugin as well. So if you select this disable cache, it should not store the cache for this particular web page, but still as per the documentation it does not work sometimes. So these are the three mechanisms to clear the cache. Once you clear the cache and if you still see the issue, then you can go for further debugging. So what we can do, you can put on debug logs as well in your component. So how you can do that, uh, to include to write the logs, you can simply use console. That means your browser console. So your browser console is visible if you click on inspect. So the second tab is console. So we are talking about this console. So to write debug logs in this console, what you can do, write console, you need to use console reference. Then there is a method called log, and then you can write the values there. Let's say car type values are, and then you can give your car type here. So it should show the values which are there in your car type. So if you'll re-render or if you'll refresh the page, you are seeing something here. Car types values are blank because we have included this console.log before setting those value in your car type component. So your car type component is completely blank when you have included this debug log there or console log there. So copy the same file, same line, and paste it after your component.set line. Let's include before and after, and save it again, and then reload your page. Still it is showing. Okay, so why it is showing like that? Because you have initialized or you have assigned the values in your car types variable uh, here using get parameter. So you did not fetch the latest value again to assign those in your card type. So if you will fetch the latest value again like this, again just paste the line here before your console.log. So what it will do, it will go to your component markup and then fetch the card types value again before put writing these logs. Save it again. This time we should be able to see the values now. Yep. So now it is showing sports car, luxury car, and when. So this is how you can use console.log console log lines to debug your component. If this is also not enough, then you can uh, uh, debug your lightning code line by line as well. So what how you can do that, you need to include a statement called debugger. So it's like debugger, that's it, and there is and a semicolon after that. So you need to include this statement and save your component. So now what this debugger will do, it will create a uh, what it, it will create a debug point in the backend, and your code execution will halt on line number 22, and the further code will not be executed until unless you will allow it to do so. So if you'll use the debugger, so again to use it, you need to be on the your inspect menu should be open. So like you should click right click and click on inspect. So this menu should be open, and then you can reload the page. So we will see the output now. So you see your program is saying it's paused in debugger. It's not executing where it got paused on line number. So the line number here you will see on the sources will be different than what you will be seeing in your component controller file, because here you will see one single file. It will include your helper and controller both. So what where your program execution has been halt on debugger statement. So let's say if you want to see the values of car types and everything, so there's a watch section on the right hand side. Clear everything from here. So you should see this watch section, and then if you want to see the value of car types, simply copy this value, click on this plus symbol here, and type in the variable name here and press enter. So what it is saying, it is saying undefined. That means it is either blank or null. So your car type value is still null. If you'll go to next line, so these are uh, the debug actions that you can perform. So you can either resume your script, or you can go to the next line. So in our case, we'll be going to next line. So now your component has come to the next line, that is line number 34. Let it assign the value to car types, and then we will be checking the car types again. So now what do you see? The car type has some value. It is showing proxy. So if you uh, expand it, you will be seeing the arrays here as well. How it is showing here. So now you can now you are sure like it's not null, there is some value inside it. So to display that value, it should show you these three values instead of handler, target, and revoked. Let me go to the next line and then see. No. Okay, let me reload this one again, then see it again. Go to the next line. Mm-mm. You- Oh yeah. So why it is showing like this? Because again we are not fetching the latest car types from the component. So to fetch that again, you need to write the same line in your controller. So just copy this one again, paste it again, save it, now reload it. So in your watch list now you should be able to see the latest value. So on the line number after the execution of line number 36, you should see the latest value here. So now you are seeing the arrays. The target is 3 now, and you are seeing three values here: sports car, luxury car, and van. So this is how you can use this debugger statement. You can go line by line. You can even figure out where your attributes are null, where your attributes are undefined, and based on that you can uh, change or modify your code. So this is how you can use the debugger. So I think uh, we will be covering these in the debugging and troubleshooting. So they are, you can debug it further. You can check out that post, or that post includes everything. The way you can debug your, even how to debug your performance, uh, how many server apex calls are being made from your controller, how many are waiting for response, and everything that you can check out that blog post, and you'll be able to see more debugging tools and everything. So now I have something for you to explore by yourself about Lightning Locker services. So just type in Lightning Locker services on Google and read about it. So this is a very interesting topic. You should be aware about it because this is something related to your the security part, and to limit the access of your Lightning components. So please do Google Lightning Locker services and find read about it. If you do have any question, post that on forum about it, and I should be able to answer those. But yeah, we won't be covering that. You should be doing it by yourself. And now let's I guess 8 minutes are remaining, so let's have a SQL query overview. So as you all know, SQL queries are used to retrieve the objects from your database records, retrieve the records from your database objects. So I'm not sure how many of you are aware about SQL, but some of you must have heard about SQL, or which is like which is being used in every database out there, whether it is SQL Server, Oracle, or your MySQL and everything. So it is very similar to your SQL statements. So let's check this in your developer console. So in your developer console, you should be seeing this query editor there. So this query editor allows you to write SQL statement. So let's say if you want to fetch the records from your account object, so how you can do that? You must write select first. So this statement, this word select means you want to fetch the records from database, and which columns you want to fetch, you need to give after select. So let's say you want to fetch ID and name from the account object. So how you can do that? From account. That's how easy it is. So this statement will retrieve all the records from account object, and it will display ID and name column, or ID or name field value. So once you write your SQL query, click on execute button, which is on the bottom left part. Click on execute and it will show you the result here. So you see I have 13 accounts in my developer org. So it is displaying the ID of all these 13 accounts along with the name. You can include more columns here. So let's say uh, I think there is a column called status as well on the account. If not, we'll see. Yes, the status is not there. So how you can select which column you want to fetch? So go to your object manager, go to account, and you should be able to see the API name of your fields. So what you need to write in your SQL, you either need to write field name for standard field and API name for your custom field. So so along with name and ID, let's find the account number as well. So by going there and writing these column name, so there is a easy way to do this as well. So let me show you that one as well. So click cancel this one. Go to your file, click on open resource. So the open resource includes every Apex class, every component, and everything which is there on your org, along with your object name as well. So type in account here. So you see this account.abj. Click on this, click open. So it will give you the list of all the available fields on the account. And then what you can do, you can select the fields that you want to display in SQL query, and you do not even have to write the query by yourself. So let me remove this query here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the fields that I want to fetch from the database. So I want to fetch ID, name, type, and let's say billing city, mm, let's say phone and account number. And do you see this button query just above the logs uh, section? So click on this query, and you see this query has automatically been written by the system itself. So the developer console will write this query for you. Click on execute and you should be able to see all these details. So now you are seeing ID, name, type, billing city, phone and account number on the same screen. So we will be using SOQL in our further session to fetch the records from the database. So in our rent a car application. So please explore as much as you can. If you are not aware about SOQL, please explore as much as you can by yourself. So this will be helpful in our further session. So this is pretty much this is everything that I'm going to cover about SOQL. This is just an overview because SOQL itself is a very big topic. So you need to dig in deeper by yourself and explore it. So we have done this. Now in the end, I want to show you the data model for our lightning for our rent a car application. So before tomorrow's session, please make sure that you create this data model in your developer org. So what do we have? We have three custom objects. One is car, the second one is your car type, and the third one is car experience. So the car will hold your car properties like its build year, car name, the description, its current location on the map, its mileage, your car picture as well, and the per day rent. Along with that, your car type is related with car your car object is related with car type as well. So it's like car type will be your parent object of car object. So you do see this lookup relationship between both of these. So car type will hold the car type name. So we'll be creating different car type, let's say again the luxury car, sports car, van, compact car and everything. And your car is related with contact as well, using a master child relationship. So every car should belong to a contact. So like every car should have an owner. So that's when we will be using contact, standard contact object. And also you can provide your experience or your reviews about car using car experience custom object. So please have a good look on this data model. Please have it ready by tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll be covering our server side controller as well, and we'll be finishing our search car form component. So it is very important that you create this data model in your developer org in order to complete our rent a car application for sure. Now today's assignment for you is like complete all the lab exercise till session 4. Whether so from the session 1 to session 4, you need to make sure you are not skipping on any of the lab exercises, because believe me, all of those lab exercise will be used in developing your rent a car application. If you are missing any of those, you may not be have you not be able to complete your rent a car application for sure, and you will not be having a proper output of this rent a car application. Second thing is you need to finish this data model, and you need to create this data model in your developer org with the same type. Like please check on the data type as well. Like if I'm giving number, please use number here, don't give it text, because I'll be designing our code based on this data model. Third thing is, if you are not aware about SQL queries, please do practice as much as you can in developer console. And again, like if you have any questions, please ask those on the developer forum or discussion forum. Please have your question answered. That is again a very important step. And in the end, please share whatever you have learned today with others as well. And the sneak peek of session 5. So the session 5 will be the last session in this week. So we'll be completing our search car form component. We'll be seeing the server side controller, how your controller will fetch the data from the server or backend using Apex controller. We'll be seeing inheritance in Lightning as well. Please do not miss this session, because inheritance is is very very important in Lightning as it is in other programming languages. So you may be having many questions in tomorrow's session. So make sure that you are joining the live session, and if possible join via Hangout so that you can ask your questions. So these are the three things we'll be doing tomorrow, and if we get some time we'll explore a few other things. So now I can take questions for next 5 to 10 minutes if you have any. Generally, you guys don't ask much question, but let's see. Yeah, quiet audience again. Okay, so like I'll take that as a no, and let's wrap up today's session. Thanks everyone for joining today's session, and let's see you tomorrow. Please complete your lab exercise before tomorrow's session, and also if you have any questions, do ask those on developer forum. Okay, so thanks everyone. Have a good day. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, Manish. Thank you.